to the area, grew up nearby in Lincolnwood, and have lived there for a number of years. Again, we are part of Coming Together program this year, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes, I believe. So really looking forward to working with the group however possible in collaborating for this event in particular, and nice to meet everyone again.
I can go next. I'm you. My name is Hailee Fajardo. I started with a commission this year. I've long been a resident of Skokie, and I'm just looking forward to meeting everyone. I know I've attended 2 meetings and it was just on and off because so I'm glad to meet you guys again without the masks on.
I'll go next. I'm Deborah Arnold. I've been on the Human Relations Commission, I'm not sure, maybe 7 years. I've lived in Skokie forever, way probably more than anyone else here. And I'm not going to tell you how long though, but a really long time. And I just retired from Niles North Special Ed Department last December. And that's it.
I can go. My name is Daphne Chameleon. I'm new to the commission. I've been here less than a year. I'm an attorney. I have my own practice, and I've been in Skokie since high school. So I moved to Skokie when it was high school time, and I've been back and forth, but pretty much in Skokie since then. And I won't tell you how long.
Hey everybody, my name is Alex Chaparro, and I'm been a resident of Skokie for 7 years, and been with the commission, I think, for about 5.5 years, and it's great to be here tonight, and welcome.
Well, I guess I'm John Lavin. I'm new to the commission, although I served previously about a decade ago or so. I've been a resident of Skokie off and on for the last 70-some years. And I'm retired CEO for Age Options, an organization responsible for senior service programs throughout suburban Chicago.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim McVeigh. I'm a relatively new citizen of Skokie. I've been here since June, about 7 months, and a member of the commission from, I believe, September roughly of this year. And I'm semi-retired after a lengthy career in legal services as well as the nonprofit sector. So pleased to meet everyone.
Hi, I'm Michelle Reitman. I've lived in Skokie all my life, and my parents moved in 1960. Went to Fairview, graduated from Niles West. My sisters graduated from Niles East. I've been on the commission since 2009, and when I get back to substitute teaching, but with everything with COVID, and I've had some medical issues over the past year, so things are kind of like goofy that way. And previously I worked at Orchard Village for a long time, so welcome to all the new people too.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Siegel. Excuse me, I've been a resident of Skokie for about 8 years now, and I've been a member of the commission for almost 5. I'm a lawyer downtown, back when I used to go downtown every day. And welcome, everyone. I'll apologize in advance for the noise and eventual chaos behind me when my kids walk in the door soon.
Hi, I'm James Spector. Been a commissioner for about 3.5 years or so now. Been a resident of Skokie for just over 7 years. And yeah, welcome Omar and Rifa. Yeah, look forward to some dialogue.
So I'm Karen Sherman. I've been a resident of Skokie for I think 23 years, and I've been a member of this commission for about 17 years. And I'm an attorney and licensed social worker. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Swarupa Pahan. I've been in Skokie for 16 years and joined the commission for the last 7 years. Welcome to everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maria. I chair the commission. I'm just doing the math in my head. I think this is my 31st year living in our home next door to Karen, best block in Skokie. And if Karen has been on the commission 17 years, I think she got me on about 15 years ago. Thrilled to have everybody here. Thrilled that we can meet via Zoom and have more than a quorum. This is fantastic. And I truly appreciate all of you and the efforts that you're taking to be at this meeting in particular, as we are just so excited to welcome our guests. I think we're going to kind of do things out of order because of their presence with us tonight. I'd like to get into having Rithath and Omar speak to us about the Coming Together in Skokie and Niles Township theme and the program that we can help support at the Douglas Center. So did you want to say a few things about who you are?
Hi.
I'm sorry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Iris Barrios. I'm a social worker here at the Village of Skokie. I am the Village of Skokie liaison for the Human Relations Commission. So we have, thank you again for going around and introducing everybody, introducing yourselves and how long you've been participating with the commissions. As you know, we had some technical difficulties getting live on YouTube. We're now officially live. Now that we are live, we will read at the beginning of each virtual meeting, we will read a little statement here. At the beginning of the Human Relations Commission, it is now being held electronically due to the surge of these COVID-19 cases, with the majority of the members participating via remote access. Members of the public who wish to comment as to an item on the published agenda must submit their statement or question in writing to myself, Iris Barrios, and my contact information as well. You can submit it via electronically through my email at iris.b@skokie.org, as well as all properly submitted comments will be presented to board and commission members as part of the record. Written comments may also be submitted by email to citizencomments@skokie.org or by mail to Village of Skokie, attention, my name Iris Barrios at 5127 Oakton Street, Skokie, Illinois, 60077, or via the Village drop box located in public entry at the Village Hall at any time. I'm here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. So, and we can get started with the meeting as well, moving forward.
So welcome to our Douglas Center friends, and many thanks to Amy for making the introduction and reaching out and really facilitating this meeting and future support that we can give your wonderful organization.
Yeah. And we had a couple commissioners, if you want to go around and introduce themselves too. So we had a couple commissioners
just join.
Louis, Marcos, David, did you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves as well? Just a brief.
Okay. Hi, I'm Louis Mercer, and I've lived in Skokie for 8 years, and this is my going into my 4th year on the commission.
Hi, my name is David Donegan. I've lived in Skokie, I think 15, maybe 18 years, and this, I believe, is my 10th, 11th year at the foundation, I think.
Thank you.
There's Marcos just popped on.
Hey, Marcos.
Hi, hey there. My name is Marcus Levy. I've been in Skokie too long, 27 plus years. I've been on the commission about 5 years now. It's a wonderful experience. And to the new commissioners, you will find out the diversity in the city is tremendous, and that's why we're marked in the nation, because we all get along. Enjoy this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
I'll also just introduce myself real quick. My name is Kim Kuhn. I'm a trustee liaison with the village board. I am new to the village board this year, but I have lived in Skokie for 17 years, and I have served on the Skokie Park District Board for 4 years prior to this. And it's nice seeing everyone's faces behind the mask.
All right, so I don't know if Rifat, if you want to unmute yourself, and Omar, tell us a little bit about what's going on with this year's coming together, and what the plans are for the program that we would be helping you with.
Yeah, so this is Omar speaking. I will speak briefly to it, and then we'll give Rafat an opportunity to speak a bit more. I do want to first of all thank everyone again for having us and carving out some time to give us an opportunity to speak. First of all, are you guys all able to hear me okay? Okay, sometimes the Bluetooth AirPods and whatnot can cause a little disruption. But secondly, there seems to be a lot of overlap within the group itself. You know, Daphne, I won't ask you how long ago you graduated from Niles West or Niles North, since you asked us not to, but I too went to Niles West for high school. As I mentioned, I grew up in the area. Michelle said she worked at Orchard Village, which has some similar programs to the Douglas Center, so she may be a bit familiar as we kind of speak briefly about this. And John Levine, I have good to see you again. John is also part of the Skokie Rotary Club, so we see each other quite often, and they're supporting the Douglas Center as well, and some of the other programming that we have and initiatives that we have going on. So again, great to see everyone. Thank you all for having us. I believe Marcus just spoke to the diversity of Skokie. Niles Township in particular, you know, encompassing Lincolnwood, Skokie, Morton Grove, I think maybe some parts of Glenview and Niles maybe, is quite a diverse community. Some of you that may be new to the area or may be new on here will definitely learn that as time goes. There's a lot of different resources, a lot of different programs, a lot of different activities that these neighborhoods have, and Skokie in particular has really been championing that over the years. As I mentioned, I grew up in the area. You may notice Rafat and I share the same last name. That's because we are related. She is my mother. So anything positive you hear from me or about me, the kudos goes to her and my father for bringing us to the community here in Lincolnwood, raising us here, giving myself and my siblings an opportunity to work and grow up and contribute to our communities. My background is actually in healthcare and medicine. I'm an MD myself, spent a number of years in research in pain management and anesthesiology, and also wanted to bring some resources to the organization at the Douglas Center, as I've been involved since, you know, the program started in 1999, volunteering in the background and getting involved in various capacities. But that is one of the things that my friends and I talk about, that, you know, grew up in the area, as far as how fortunate we really are to have grown up in such a diverse community. You know, when we see a lot of the political strife and differences and things like that around the country, you know, sometimes we realize that a number of people grow up in these silos or in communities that are very much just representations of themselves. But here in Skokie, Lincoln, and Morton Grove, and the neighboring communities, we truly have an opportunity to kind of work in various capacities together and to learn from one another. Amy, again, thank you for having us here. Amy is also working in another counterpart with us to, as part of coming together with MCC or MEC, Muslim Community Center and Muslim Education Center, which is located in Skokie. We're looking to do an interfaith conversation around the topic of disabilities. So again, another opportunity to collaborate, bring different groups together, different faith-based groups, things along those lines. But yeah, in regards to the Douglas Center, I do want to speak briefly about what the organization is, what it is we're looking to do for this year's Coming Together. Many people may be familiar with Coming Together. Some people may not be familiar with Coming Together, but this is a program that was started, I believe, 12 to 17 years ago, something along those lines. Susan Van Dusen, who happens to be the wife of the mayor, of Skokie, as well as, I guess, a group of others had been out for lunch one day and had been talking about the diversity of Skokie and, you know, how rich we are in that aspect, and wanting to highlight all these various aspects, you know. And so this program of coming together had come about. And throughout the years, the focuses have been on various cultures and faith-based groups. I think in previous years, it had been Muslim Americans, India, China, Poland, Voices of Race, the Latinx. And so if you guys do want to look for further information about that, I believe the website might be comingtogether.in, I believe, or you can just Google Coming Together Skokie or something along those lines, and you should be able to find it. Our organization, the Douglas Center, was approached in 2021 as asking for if we'd like to contribute to some of the core committee when it comes to programming and development of Coming Together 2022, because they had decided that the program would be on the topic of disabilities. Again, when we talk about coming together in diverse groups and things along those lines, disabilities affects people across the board, regardless of your race, regardless of your faith, regardless of your culture, you know, all along those lines. And so what we've kind of, and again, the topic can be so vast, you know, of course, it would take a lifetime to discuss it, but the way we've decided to kind of break down this year's, or to compartmentalize this year's topics, is to break down disabilities into 4 categories, those being physical disabilities, learning disabilities, intellectual and developmental disabilities, and mental health disorders or mental health disabilities. And so the Douglas Center is a program that speaks to the intellectual and developmental disabilities primarily. But when you look at our population and the individuals that come to our program, over 50% of them also have a secondary diagnosis of a mental health disorder or a mental health disability. As mentioned, the Douglas Center started in 1999. This was something that, again, my mother, Rafath, had initiated many years ago. She'd been working, I'll let her speak to her own experiences, but had worked in social services for a number of years, and then got an opportunity to start the program herself. Then initially began at a storefront, 2,500 square foot storefront on Pulaski and Devon. It had an area in the front that was like a little lobby reception type area, 2 to 3 offices and a garage space in the back, and 1 or 2 bathrooms in the hallway. The garage space was used as a workshop space where individuals or adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities would come and work on job skills and independent living skills. They started with 1 participant and 1 employee. After about a year or so, they ran out of space and moved into Skokie in about the year 2000. Started again at a space where they had about 12,000 or so 12,000 square feet, and over the years have expanded, and are now about 40,000 square feet within that same space in Skokie on Howard, between St. Louis and McCormick. I don't remember the exact numbers for staff, but I think it was like 30 to 40 staff, and pre-COVID it was about 100, close to 140 participants. One of the reasons why coming together, I think, will be so important when we discuss, you know, disabilities. It's not only an opportunity for people with disabilities to come together and find various resources in the community or learn about other books and authors that may have disabilities, but it's also an opportunity for our community in general to come together and to learn about various disabilities. You know, I think part of the experiences of starting Douglas Center, or why it's so important for people in the general community to learn about disabilities, to break down a number of these barriers and misconceptions that we may have. Again, I'll let Rafat speak to this a bit more closely, but when initially starting the program, there were a lot of challenges with finding a space to start such a program because of the potential misconceptions that people had. You know, oh, they may destroy, you know, our space. Well, we can't rent out to a program like that. Or, well, what types of individuals are those really? You know, I'm not sure that this would be a space for that. So it took finding this space where I believe the owner was familiar with individuals with disabilities, and then now in the space we're in Skokie, where again, the owner was on, I think, some sort of board having to do with disabilities, but it's really an opportunity to educate our community on the various aspects of disabilities. And the thing that we really want to highlight and why we named the program what we did was, I think our program in particular likes to take the word disabilities and highlight the particular portion that says abilities. You know, we're a community day services program, a standalone community day services program, so we don't necessarily have a residential counterpart, but we work with 15 to 17 different residential providers. So what that means really is that 85% or so of our participants that come to our program for these daily services come from group homes and these residential homes, and about 15% or so come from their families' homes. So what is the Douglas Center exactly? A community day service is a program where individuals that have a diagnosis of an intellectual and or developmental disability, so that can be things like autism, Down syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, epilepsy, it's on and on and on. There's a number of different diagnoses that would encompass. They can come to a program like ours where they can get services to help them live a bit more independently, for them to learn how to build on various job skills so they can hopefully go out and get a job in the community. It's social environment too, right? It's a place for people to come, share things that they have in common. It's also a place where they can come and then get integrated into the community. You know, we work with a number of different organizations and utilize a number of different resources in the community so that our participants can go out there and feel quote unquote normal, you know, be able to go and integrate with our community. Again, Skokie has been great in being inviting and welcoming in that regards. Today is a great example of that. We actually just started going to the Weber Center for the first time to go and do the walk around the track. So one of my main focuses with the organization is expanding and building on this health and wellness programming. Unfortunately, during COVID, we realized how detrimental it can truly be for vulnerable populations like ours. If you look at statistics, I believe it's anywhere from 3 to 6 times more likely that individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities or people with special needs can contract COVID, and then also 3 to 6 times more likely that they can die from COVID as compared to the quote unquote, average individual. Some of those reasons may be because they have various chronic illnesses already. It may be difficult to follow some of the sanitary guidelines that are provided. A number of people have sensory issues where they can't wear masks on their face. We have a number of people that come to our program that have some of those sensory issues, and they really cannot wear a mask on their face. You know, anything that touches their face causes severe irritation for them. So these are some of the reasons as to why, you know, COVID has been so detrimental for this community. And when I talked about the health and wellness programming, besides the core of our program being kind of developing those independent living skills, we provide a number of different therapies as well. Again, health and wellness programming, art therapy, pet therapy, movement and dance therapy. We do computer classes, electronic recycling program, on and on. There's a lot more that I'm probably not remembering at the moment, but that's kind of the gist of what our program does and what we try to do, you know, in Skokie. We, of course, welcome, you know, anyone to come and join us for a tour to learn a bit more about the program when possible. You know, for some time, we again had not really opened our facility back up for tours, but we're discussing how we can kind of continue to move forward and give people an opportunity to come in and really learn about what the abilities are of the individuals that we work with. And yeah, I'll speak briefly to the program that we're looking to do in March. So for coming together, we really want to do something called the Abilities Lab. And that's really to give people an opportunity to come through the doors and to, you know, step in the shoes of individuals with disabilities for a brief moment of time. It's really difficult to actually put yourself in their shoes, but being able to see what individuals are really capable of doing. You know, we have so many different departments at our program, so many different jobs that they work on. Some of the really complex ones that they work on are sewing projects. Some of our really high functioning individuals work on a food service uniforms that we have a contract with the Department of Defense, actually, where we make a certain amount of food service uniforms every month or so. And a number of these individuals are highly capable of working on these types of things, you know, and whether it's buttons or sewing pieces together, things along those lines. And again, we have a number of other things that we'd like people to participate in, art projects, you know, just really small, quick, short ones when they come in through the doors. I believe we're looking to do it on March 25th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so when people come in, they'll come in, learn a little bit about the program, go to the different stations that we'll set up, give people an opportunity again to work on some of the an art project, maybe making like a quick greeting card. That is something again that our participants make. They make all these cards by hand through the art therapy program. A lot of that is also sold, and then that money also comes back to the participant who made that, and it's a job for them in a sense. We'll have some people working on some of the sewing stuff. We're looking to hopefully build like a large quilt, and each person that comes in, if they're interested in doing, they can really patch a little square together that will become part of this large quilt that can be given to, you know, the coming together and maybe be displayed either in our organization or a local library. And so we're thinking about doing some of those types of programs. I'll give Rafat a second to speak as well, because I did go on for quite a bit, but also if you guys have any questions after we're done, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Umar. I think I'll keep it brief. Umar has given you extensive information about the program and the Coming Together program that we are participating in. Just to give you a little background of where I'm coming from, I actually came to United States in 1985 and started working at another organization similar to ours. And I was with them for a long time before I got the opportunity to start the Douglas Center. So it's really been an honor for me to be where I am and to start the Douglas Center. Like Umar said, we started with one participant and one staff, and I was working full-time at another place when I was doing this at the same time. But it's been a very, very fulfilling experience. It's been a journey with a lot of heartaches and headaches, but a lot of satisfaction too. So my background, I have my master's in psychology, and I am very intrigued by the human behavior and human brain. That's why I am where I am. I started out at the bottom, really working as a direct care staff when I started, 37 years ago. So I've worked all the ranks and here I am, but it's been a pleasure. Like Umar said, we had great difficulty in getting a space to start the program, but I do have to say that when we moved to Skokie in 2000, it's been a pleasure. Skokie really has a lot to offer, and I think everybody in Skokie is very accommodating, understanding, and respecting of different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. So we have a lot of our participants with special needs who live in Skokie too. Not everybody, but we have people coming from Skokie, Evanston, Niles, Des Plaines, Lincolnwood, Chicago, of course. So it's a pleasure serving, and it's a pleasure working with everybody in the different communities. Again, I'm not going to repeat what Umar has said, but the program has grown from 2,500 square feet to 40 square feet now. We also have dance therapy and drumming, which I think we didn't talk about a little bit. There's also a back space in the outside the building, part of the building, but outside, which we have developed into a sports arena. which is really a cool thing because most of our participants do not get the opportunity for much of physical activities and health-related activities. So once we started this outdoor space, we have basketball, they can play badminton, volleyball, barbecue, there's a little picnic area. So we are really focusing on health and wellness because it is a really, really essential part of life for our participants. What else can I tell you? I mean, there's a lot, but I don't want to go on and on and on. In regards to the program this year coming together, I'm really looking forward to it. I think for the longest time in the coming together group, they were discussing having 1 year dedicated to people with special needs. And we're really excited that this year has been dedicated to people with disabilities. So we're really looking forward to working with you all and providing whatever we can to the public, as well as, you know, parents and guardians and community members to learn more about the participants that we provide the program to, as well as provide some public education in regards to people learning more about their abilities and their skills and their talents, more than just kind of having a concept, oh my God, you know, what can they do? So there's a lot that they can do that most of us cannot do. So it's really worth putting some time into learning more about it and visiting, if you all can, before or even during the time when we're doing the abilities lab, as Omar was talking about. One other focus that I want to talk about a little bit with the Douglas Center is, unfortunately, many of our participants who live in group homes or even at home with parents are not given many choices. You know, I mean, many of the things are decided for them, where they're going to go, where they're going to live, what they're going to wear, what they're going to eat. So many of them do not have too many choices. And when they come to Douglas Center, that is one of the biggest focus that we kind of put out there, is choices and opportunities. So all the programs that Umar talked about that we provide are open to everybody. Whether they can do it or not, it doesn't matter. They are part of it and they have an interest, so they are offered the program. So choices and opportunities is a great thing that I think it's a human need and everybody needs to have it. And that's one of the biggest focus that we pride in. The other thing is giving them training in life skills, not just work skills, which is also another focus. We have a lot of work that we provide to our participants. Omar did talk about the food service uniforms. This is a federal government contract from the Department of Defense. So we make their food service uniforms for them. It's a very sophisticated task. But apart from that, we also work with a lot of private manufacturers in Chicagoland, where we do a lot of packaging, assembly, labeling kind of jobs. So we train our clients to work on these jobs, and they do get paid twice a month for the work that they do. Community integration is another focus. We take them out in the community to places that you and I will visit, that you and I are interested in, from bowling to movies to museums to zoo, and also, you know, shopping or wherever they want to go. So the choice is theirs. Their choice is taken into consideration for all the programs that we provide. I'll tell you a little story, and I always do. I love the story. A few years back, well, it's almost 10 years back, among the participants, a group approached me and said, you know what, we need to talk to you. I said, okay, how can I help you? And that group said that we're getting old. We don't want to come to the program anymore. We want to retire and don't want to do work every day. I said, okay, I mean, that's your choice. But at the same time, let me tell you, if you're living in a group home, now it's a little different, but 10 years ago, they didn't have too many choices as to not going to a program or not being in school or not working outside in the community. So they had to be busy during the daytime participating in one of these activities. So I said, but if you guys don't want to work, we can start a seniors program and we can have a coffee club and go to movies and things like that. They said, oh, we can. So we started a seniors program 10 years back, and they did not work. They had a coffee club. They enjoyed watching movies. They enjoyed playing bingo and things like that. But 6 months into the program, the whole group came back again and said, well, we need to talk to you again. I said, okay. So they said, what is this? Everybody's working. Why aren't we working? So I said, that was a choice that you all made, that you didn't want to work, because if you don't work, you don't get paid. So then they started working, but working part-time. So this is just an example of how client choice is taken into consideration to develop programs and give them what they need, what they have asked for, but also provide for their needs. So this was a group of seniors, 55 and older, who wanted to kind of just take a break from the routine. So that's kind of where we are and what we do. If anybody has questions, I can certainly answer, or Umar can answer.
So what a lovely explanation. Thank you both. It certainly gives me a deeper understanding, just touching the surface of what you do with your clients and participants. Regarding the day of March 25th, can you tell us a little bit about how the structure is? Is it kind of a come and go type of thing, or is there some program, just to give us a sense? Because I know I would like all of the commissioners to attend, but perhaps we can't spend a whole day there. If you can just give us a little bit of an overview. I know that, Omar, you had mentioned about the different activities, and will the participants kind of guide us through or be there to work with us on the quilt, or the different things that you have planned for the day?
Yeah, I can say something real quick, and then I don't call her Rafat in my daily life. You know, it's usually Ma or Mom. So if you guys hear me say that, that's just me being normal. So Ma, if you want to speak real quick after this, it feels kind of weird calling her Rafat. So yeah, no, there's no expectation for people to come in and spend the whole time there. It is more of a come and go thing. And anyone that does come, please don't spend the whole 8 hours there. I don't know if we'll have enough room to entertain everyone that long. The concept more so is coming in. We've got the facility divided into, again, a number of different programs or areas. So people would come in, get a brief explanation of what the program is. And then if they're coming in groups, you know, or even by themselves, we can then rotate them to kind of these different departments or different stations where they'll do the activity for that designated area. Besides doing the activity for that designated area, and you asked about participants. I'll mention that real quick before I go on. We actually will not have participants in the building that day. I think that'll be scheduled on an in-service day, and that is because, as I had mentioned, and when it comes to, you know, how vulnerable the population is, we've been quite strict about how we are maintaining the program and who comes into the program and all of that. So we're actually even, I would say, close to 100% of everyone in that building is vaccinated, has their boosters, and we do weekly testing still at our program. And we've got a great relationship with the local public health department, have contacts at the state level as well. So we've utilized those as kind of guides to make sure that we're keeping everyone as protected as possible. So the day we open up to the public, we will not have participants there. We'll have people kind of come in, but after that, kind of clean the place and allow it to air out before we get back on a Monday. I believe 25th is a Friday. I may be wrong, though, but yeah, so the goal again is to come in, learn about the different programs that we have, again, work on the abilities aspect of what our participants are able to do while they're there. We're hoping to have either TVs, projectors, something stationed in each department so that we can also show a video of what actually goes on there when the participants are working there. Because I know it's hard to kind of imagine when people aren't in the building what it's actually like. So that's kind of the best way that we can think of kind of showcasing what actually goes on in that space. And then Ma, if you want to speak to anything else that I may have missed out on.
No, I think you gave a gist of what we're looking for. So if we have anybody who's interested to volunteer, you're most welcome to. But also, you don't have to come as a whole group, like Omar said. You can come by yourself or with a couple of people. And even if you're not interested or you don't have enough time to do the activities that might be laid out, we can certainly give you a tour of the program and kind of talk to you a little bit about what goes on. So please don't feel like you have to do it while you're there. We would like to welcome all of you to the program so you get a little bit more acquaintance, if I may say, to what goes on and what it's like. There are a number of, I do have to say that although we've been around for almost 23 years now, many people who come around or we talk to always make this remark, is like, oh, we didn't hear about Douglas Center, and to that I must say, and this is my own thing, that since we started the program, we've really been very involved in building the program and providing for the needs of our clients. We did not focus a whole lot in reaching out, but right now, thank you to Omar, I have to say he's brought in a lot of community awareness and community integration, but we are reaching out a lot to bring in the community and talk to the community about what the program is all about and what our clients do and how they work at this. So I'm sure many of you today also have that same question as to what is Douglas Center? We've never heard about Douglas Center, although we've been around for 23 years in Skokie. We would love for all of you to come join us, take a look, see what goes on. And anytime somebody does a walkthrough or take a tour of the program, they're really surprised as to what goes on and the capabilities of our participants. So it's really cool to see, the vision we might have had before we met anybody or have seen a program like this and what it really is in reality. So I welcome everybody, and again, we can have volunteers, we can have people help us through setting things up and even be there to help the public come in and work with us, but also come in for a tour. So
I would also say, also one thing that I think we would need help with, and just coming together in general, that hopefully the committee can support and help with, is just getting the information out there. Helping people become aware of what actually is going on. I don't think we realize how much actually goes on in our communities when it comes to programs, resources, things along those lines. So it's really important for people to be aware of what's out there. And another thing I want to just speak to real quick that I think pertains to everyone, even on this call. It's not even about just the Douglas Center per se, but again, the individuals that come to the program. When I walk through the halls, there's a lot of motivation that I get personally. There's a lot that the individuals do there that is quite inspiring, I think, for the everyday person when it comes to seeing how patient individuals are, when it comes to seeing the obstacles and hurdles that people have to overcome. When it comes to, again, when you talk about limitation and choices that people have, how do people live fulfilling lives with those types of limitations, right? There's a lot that I think we can all take from a number of these individuals. You know, one of the examples I also think of from time to time, we have an individual that comes to our program who is legally blind, you know, and so they don't come to our program because they're legally blind. Again, you have to come to our program because you've been diagnosed with an intellectual developmental disability. It just so also happens that the individual is legally blind. And so I remember in my first, couple months of being there full time, walking around the floor, seeing how everyone was doing. And I saw this individual working on this job where, they were packaging a particular item. But even the way that the item is packaged, it has to be put in a particular way. You can't just put it in however you choose to. It has to be put in a particular way into this container or box. And I sat down for a few minutes, had a conversation with the individual, asked how it is that they're able to identify, how to put things in a particular way. And they said they kind of feel around on the package, are able to identify that one side is slightly different from the other. And that's how they are able to put this thing in the package. And the individual works and they make money, and they take great pride in that. And then the individual went on to also talk about their personal life and how their apartment is set up and how their friends had come in and helped the individual establish the place and set up the place when they were moving in to help that person get around the room a bit more easily, and this individual is very much so living an independent life. And again, it's not just the blindness that they're afflicted with, but also the intellectual or developmental disability. So a number of challenges that the individual has, yet I don't hear a single complaint from the person when I speak to them. Instead, they were talking about how grateful they are to even be able to come in and do this type of work, how grateful they are for their family and friends that they have that have been supportive, for them in again, helping them throughout their lives. So I think it's really important that, for all of us to be able to hear these stories, to be able to see these examples, and to be able to utilize them in our own lives, to be able to come over, any types of hurdles and difficulties that we have ourselves, being grateful for all the things that we do have, working towards the things that we don't. So again, more so than just the Douglas Center itself or the services that we provide are the stories and the individuals that come to our program and the examples that they can be for all of us. So just something to keep in mind.
I very quickly want to say one thing. People might wonder why we will not have our participants there on the 25th of March. We certainly can, but that's a day we have chosen, which is a staff training day. But more than that, we cannot have our participants there late in the evening. They go home at 2 o'clock because they have other activities they participate in. And also some of them might have schedules for medication or whatever. So we cannot have them after a certain time, and that's the reason why. And we're doing it later in the evening so the community has the time after work, if possible, to come and stop by. So that's one of the reasons why we won't have them, most probably.
Rifat, are you requiring the folks that come to visit that particular day be vaccinated? Is there any vaccination requirement to attend this?
We are not requiring vaccination requirement, but we will go through the temperature check and you have to have a mask on. We will maintain social distancing. And we won't have a lot of people there at one time because we're going to limit numbers and do a few people at a time. So we do have, like Umar said, most of our people, staff and clients are all vaccinated, but I do understand that some people do have exemptions, and we would like the community to really learn as much as possible because this is an opportunity really for the community, So we will follow all the other protocols that we will have in place.
I wonder too, Omar, maybe you can speak to this, if there is some kind of a flyer with the information or whatever that in synopsis, whatever you're going to have through coming together that could be sent and we would share with all of our commissioners, and each of us could then put it on whatever social media, do some invites to our blocks. I mean, all of us being commissioners here are very attached to our community. and we each have our own larger circle of friends and neighbors, and just the web that we can spread it out and encourage people to come. It's a free event to them, and what better way, maybe even invite our friends to come at a certain time when we know we're going to be there and we can walk through together. But if there is something that you could send us electronically, and that maybe says, you know, with the sponsorship of the Human Relations Commission, and then whatever it is, I know I have dozens of people that I can send it off to.
Yeah, we would definitely, you know, appreciate anyone that can, again, send out that information. Today was actually the deadline to submit the information for the different programs to Coming Together's program committee. And so they are then going to start creating these brochures and information that I think can then be shared. So as soon as we get some of that, we can definitely forward that along.
Great. I think though, for all of us, if we can kind of put that on our individual calendars, and I know for myself, I'm running a big event at work. Of course, that particular day, I didn't realize it was going to coincide, but I would be coming on the earlier end of things. Maybe we space ourselves out throughout the day, but I really would like to have our presence there to show the Douglas Center all of our support.
Yeah,
Thank you so
again,
much.
we very
Really
much
appreciate that very much.
Did you want to say?
Okay. If people wanted to volunteer, who would they reach out to? What would be a good contact information? If you want
So,
to put
yeah,
it in the chat.
I can, Amy and I were just kind of discussing this on the side. We can actually send out, Amy has been kind of my point of contact, so I can send her a sign-up sheet once you've kind of put some of that together. Again, that can be something that either can be done before the program to help set things up, or if during the program, you know, those individuals that want to come out and volunteer in designated areas, we could probably use a couple hands as well. So I'll definitely send that out to Amy sometime soon.
And last question here, does the Douglas Center still have some masks for sale?
Oh, were you familiar with those masks?
Yeah.
So that was an interesting situation. I'll kind of briefly, for anyone who's not familiar with that, we do still have some masks, and that actually may be something that we were talking about having the day of as well, because we have a number of them that are left over. So basically, around the time that shutdowns had happened, March 17th, I believe, is when we had closed our doors. 2 days later, there was a mandate that had gone out that asked everyone to close their doors. And so all of our participants basically had to stay at home, stay in their room, stay at home. You know, that's another thing, not to get too, you know, dark about it. But again, just thinking about the conditions that people have, thinking about the mental health conditions that a number of people go through, then to ask them to stay at home for, you know, a number of months. I mean, it was what was necessary at the time, but it was challenging, you know, and then we dealt with a number of behavioral issues, things like that, and challenges when people were coming back. And we still are. There's still a number of people that are still starting to come back. But at that time, when we closed our doors, we do, as we mentioned, have a sewing department there. So hopefully all of you that can come through can really see what the setup is like. And around that time, we had talked to a number of our staff, started working at the residential homes, where they can go and support the individuals at their homes rather than coming to a site like ours, because we didn't have participants coming in. So we had decided that we will start making some of these masks if possible. So it was literally, again, my mother and I, that we really didn't know what we were doing at that time, but we, you know, found some guidelines, found a fabric store downtown, went and researched, you know, what we need for it. We need 2 layers of 100% cotton, an interfacing layer in the middle. So we bought all that, brought it to our program, and the individuals that sew, you know, we have a number of contractors that come to our program as well that don't have these disabilities, that sew some of the more difficult steps as well. So we started making those masks and providing it to some of the staff at the homes. Again, we had, you know, a relationship with the local public health department in Skokie. This was Dr. Catherine Kennard at the time. And she had mentioned, that they needed some for their staff. This wasn't something that was being manufactured in mass quantities the way we see today. So we really had people working quite hard on getting a number of those things out for some of those departments. And then other individuals in Skokie's village had started asking for it. Then eventually we just opened it up to the public, and then I think it was Stacy Baca from Channel 7 that somehow got my number. I'm not sure how, but called anonymously on my phone and asked if she could come in and do a quick interview. We were so bombarded at that time with people, coming in to purchase masks that I didn't blow it off, but I said, we genuinely do not have time at the moment. We can probably discuss it later. And then got a second call from her, saying that it really was something they wanted to do within the next 24 hours. So she came in and things kind of just really blew up from there. The second it was on the news, we started getting calls, I think like seconds after, during the program. And that went on for quite a while. And then, again, we were fortunate to be able to provide a lot of those to people in the community. Those were, washable, reusable masks that we had. Again, we do have a number of them still, and we will hopefully hold on to some of them to be able to provide at that event as well. So if anyone, is interested and does want to purchase some, they can come on by or give us a call, and we can try to set some aside for people that still want to come in and purchase. But yeah, it seems like a couple people have bought from that. I'm getting a couple messages as well about that. So
We did too.
nice. Okay,
So-
awesome. I hope they came in good use and they were sturdy enough to last for
Oh,
quite
yeah.
some time. So
They wash and wear. Omar, are you asking folks to kind of RSVP for the program so you get some sense of who may be coming?
we had thought about that, but at the moment, because we want to open it to such a wide array of individuals, some people may be accessing it through online. Some people may be finding out from word of mouth. We haven't set anything up to RSVP. It's almost going to be kind of like an open house from what we're thinking. So it's really hard to even gauge how many people may actually come, how many people may not. And then also we do have, some of our limitations when it comes to being able to put people on task to do a number of these things as well, right? So we're obviously, short staffed like the rest of the world. So a lot of the time is going into kind of creating other aspects of the program, and haven't put a ton of time into some of the tech aspects to create, an RSVP and follow up with that as well.
But we certainly will keep you posted as we move forward, because I think we're still in the planning stages and working together with the committee. Things are kind of being planned out, and this is our first time too participating fully in the Coming Together program. So we'll certainly keep you posted as to how this will play out on the day of the 25th, if that's okay.
Absolutely. No, for sure.
And just for the notes, what were the hours again? I'll just add them really quickly.
This is March 25th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Any last questions or comments from the group?
Thank you both for coming and sharing and bringing us into what I hope will be a really wonderful program with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much.
Appreciate the support, the engagement, and the interest. And again, hopefully this conversation continues beyond Coming Together and really becomes hopefully, a platform for people to continue to think about this community as well as other, communities that have various disabilities, and figuring out how we can kind of support these individuals within our community, and open up our doors in various organizations and programs to individuals with various disabilities.
Okay, well, thank you both so much. We appreciate you taking this much of your evening. I know this is, it was a bit longer than you may have anticipated, but so helpful to all of us to understand what you do. And just, from me personally, and I think I speak for the commissioners, we extend such a level of gratitude to you and your family, which, I mean, looks like the apple didn't fall far from the tree. It just incredibly wonderful, giving people that you probably don't know how profoundly you affect the world, but just I'm just so moved by everything that you do there, and anything that we can do to help, and especially to promote this particular event, but to give a broader view that that you're there and growing and helping, amazingly helping such a wonderful community of our local folks. We're truly grateful.
Thank you for the kind words. You know, I can be quite an emotional individual, but I'll hold it back for right now. But no, I genuinely appreciate that. Again, as I had mentioned, I grew up here. You know, this is my hometown, and we think of various ways to kind of contribute where possible, because this is, again, this community has given so much to us, you know, growing up in this space. And, you know, hopefully future families, you know, if we can raise our kids here, and we want it to be, again, a welcoming, inviting place, a place that has a number of different resources to be able to support a number of different individuals. So again, you know, and as I mentioned earlier, the credit goes to mother and father. Of course, they have worked, as she mentioned, you know, came in the 80s from India. They don't necessarily, you know, talk about a number of the challenges that they faced at that time. I could speak to that for a very long time if given the opportunity, but, you know, overcame a number of challenges at that time to raise the family that they did. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, but also they worked very hard to make my younger siblings quite successful as well, you know, and so they've worked very hard. My younger sister is a neurology resident at Loyola, younger brother's in his second year of dentistry, practicing dentistry. So, you know, worked very hard to hopefully make contributing members of society, you know, so anything that we can continue to do, whether it be in voluntary capacity or work related, we'll hopefully continue to be able to do that. And I'd love to continue to stay involved with the Skokie Human Relations Committee beyond just this Coming Together program. So again, kudos to the mother and father, and, you know, the support and resources that we've got in the community. So thank you all.
Thank you
Thank
both.
you again. Thank you again to all of you. And honestly, it's my passion in life to do what I do. I enjoy it very much, and meeting new people and getting them involved also gives me a lot of hope and pride. So thank you again for getting involved and getting to know us. Anytime, even if it's not the 25th, you guys are most welcome to come join us.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Have
Okay.
a good evening. Thank you,
you.
Omar.
Bye.
Thank you, Rifan. Thank you. Great. Wow. It's pretty amazing. Amy, thank you very much for facilitating that. That was, I thought I knew a little bit about, and I knew even less about the Douglas Center than what they exposed us to. Just wonderful. I'm really excited about the 25th and to see how the program develops. Great. So anybody have any comments about the March 25th event? Okay, well, we'll have notes in the
Yeah,
in the-
well, I added some notes on there, so. We'll add it.
I'm not sure if anybody has, if you've had a chance to just review the minutes, if there's any update or clarification or change, you can let us know now.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the only thing I saw was my name was kind of misspelled.
And
Is
which
it-
line is that?
It's Lavin, Lavin.
Okay. Our apologies.
No
I think I
problem.
need to, I need to make a correction on the,
Yes.
I need to make a correction actually on the,
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
So it's LAVIN.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, I'm going off of the attendance sheet and it's
It was
AN,
misspelled,
so
yeah.
that's why, but I'm making that correction now. Thank you for that.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Sorry about, thank you. It's been adjusted now.
Anyone else have any corrections for the minutes? Can I
have an approval of minutes?
Yeah, Sharon approved.
Motion to
Second?
approve.
Okay, Alex, great.
Who seconded?
Me.
Oh,
sorry,
Surupa.
yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so for new business, I think one of the things we wanted to go over, Iris had sent out to everybody a recap of the different subcommittees for our commission. And we had put them together into, instead of having like 8 or 9, we kind of combined into 4 main sections. And I believe you should have received an email from Iris with that information of which committee you would be on. Does everybody know about that? Did everybody receive those emails if you were on more than one? Okay. So in the event that you were not at our last meeting, I can just review briefly that we had come up with 9 areas that our commission covers. Block Party of the Year, Coming Together in Skokie, Fair Housing and Eviction Issues, Festival of Cultures, Know Your Neighbor, SEED, Stand Against Racism, Skokie United / Black History Month, and Skokie Pride. We passed around a sign-up sheet. People put their name on 1, 2, 3, 4, some people. And then we kind of consolidated, as I mentioned, the various areas. So we decided that the Block Party of the Year / Block Party Forum, Fair Housing, Know Your Neighbor, and Housing would be kind of like a housing neighbor committee. Coming Together in Skokie would be its own committee. SEED, Stand Against Racism, Skokie United and Skokie Pride would be an equity and diversity committee. And then the Festival of Cultures would be its own committee. For those of you who have not signed up for any of these, I would encourage you to do so, because what we'd like to have going forward is that between 4 and 10 of you for the various groups would, between now and our next meeting, have some kind of communication and start getting together either virtually or in person, however you want to do it, offline from our normal once a month meeting, and come up with a plan, come up with what you want to do and where you want to take that committee, and come back to us and let us know, okay, for the Block Party of the Year, the housing people, here is the plan for how we're going to run the Block Party of the Year awards, when the forum might be, if you want to start planning something to do with Know Your Neighbor, that would be one group. The Coming Together in Skokie is already pretty much active. I know that Amy has been very, very active in that. So maybe, Amy, if you wanted to reach out to the others on this that have signed up and just kind of figure out between the 5 of you how you want to go forward. The same with the other 2 ones, and we'll send this out sooner than later, I think, so everybody can see the whole thing. And then if you hadn't signed up for anything, please reply back to Iris and let her know which of the 4 areas are of interest to you.
Yeah, and each committee too, if they want to maybe have a note taker, a chair, a co-chair, to kind of take the lead, especially like the equity and diversity seems to be a bigger group. If they want to take like a lead person, and then they can report back to speak to the bigger group about what's been going on with the committee, what they've been kind of planning on doing and moving forward, and they can report back and things like that. And I know James has also been pretty involved in active with coming together as well. So Amy and James have been active. So, but yeah, I can email this. I'll scan it tonight. It's kind of like, this is what we're looking at here, the breakdown of the committees. I'll scan and email it tonight after this meeting tonight. So we can do that. Any questions or anything on the committees or why we kind of joined them together?
I think it's great to bring it together. And I like the grouping of it. I think there's going to be a lot of great synergy and conversations that we could bring back and put some stuff into action. So I'm really excited about it. It's a good job with that.
Thanks, Alex. Is anybody not in a group who would like or wants to switch groups? Or
You can respond if you don't want to.
or not today?
Yeah.
I mean, we can always.
You can
Well,
email.
I'll say that I'm on more committees than I think I should be. So, and I am, and since that equity and diversity committee is so big, I think I should be taken out of that one, and I'll
Okay.
take the other two that I'm on.
Yeah.
Because that one has a lot of people. You don't need me.
Yeah, because I think with one of them, you said you were gonna like maybe just attend. It was more
Yeah,
about attending,
yeah.
and that was one that we kind of just like joined. It was just your name on it. Yeah, so that's why we just combined.
I got a little nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing all this.
What happened to being retired, Deborah?
You got sign up happy.
I'm retired, but I've been, I have a 92-year-old mother who has
I know.
constant caregiving issues.
Yeah.
And I'm about to be a grandmother, so I'm maybe this week. So
Oh my goodness.
I'm very excited. Yes.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
wonderful news.
Yeah.
Wonderful news. Yeah, I just cut and pasted this on one page from four of those emails.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I put it together. Great. Okay. So I think. Does anyone have a sense, I'm just thinking about the Festival of Cultures, have they made an announcement if that is happening this year? Karen, do you know? Have you?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, apparently they have. I checked on their website not long ago, and it's set for I think the third weekend in May, which is the usual thing. But it's weird because I wish Krishna was here, but we haven't, at least I haven't. I don't know if Krishna has, but I haven't heard anything from the coordinators saying, hey, we meet, because normally we start meeting in January at least to plan it. So I don't know if it's going to be a limited thing or what, but there is a Festival of Cultures 2022 on the website. So yeah.
Well, I know your name is not listed on this. You're my go-to because I know how involved you are, but we've got James, Anwar, Deborah, and Swarupa. So if you can let us know at the next meeting what's happening.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll find out. And it may well be that it's going to be like a smaller thing. Mm-hmm. And so, we're not meeting quite yet.
Sure.
So yeah.
But if they are going to ask for, the ads in the program book, we want to be ahead on that and not at the last minute have to put something together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we'll find out for sure.
Okay, great. I know that, I'm sorry.
Okay. We always volunteer for that too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Between the ad and thank you, Deborah, between the ad and the volunteering.
Yeah, exactly, Deborah. I think, I'll find out about both for sure.
Okay.
I think the dates are May 21st and 22nd.
Thank you. Going into the next section, I'm guessing that the Stand Against Racism, something is happening with that, whether it's going to be in person or virtual. But there's 9 people on this list. Perhaps by our next meeting, we could have a report back just to
Yes.
find out like
Mhm.
what our participation can be, what's the date and time, if we're going to do it again back here at Village Hall,
Yeah.
all of the details that we would need so we can all support that.
So I have emailed the YWCA Evanston North Shore so far for Stand Against Racism for the dates and confirmation. YWCA, the national level, has put out the dates so far, but that's on the national level. So I reached out to Hailee Fajardo to confirm those dates, to make sure that we're doing, I'm pretty sure we're going to do the exact same dates because we typically do for the upcoming April dates and things like that. So I'm just waiting to confirm those dates and everything and to coordinate with the local YWCA and services. And if it's typically for the last 2 years, they've been doing partial virtual and everything like that. And then like a day that they can come together, we can read all the pledge, either virtual or do photos and things like that. So I did that last week and to kind of coordinate because the national dates did come out. So I just wanted to see if the YWCA, the local YW in Evanston North Shore, to confirm those dates and what we can do to participate as the Village of Skokie. And then we can put it in the Skokie e-news, and then as the commission, the Human Relations Commission, how we can participate. So once I can get information, I'm sure by the next meeting I can present on that.
Great. Also, if there's any update about Skokie United, Skokie Pride activities that we can be that we can find out about, and then possibly support and see how we can actively participate, that would be great. So those are all in under that umbrella of topic. And then going into, Block Party of the Year, Block Party Forum, Know Your Neighbor, that particular group, if you can get together and figure out if we're able to do some kind of a forum this year, or if we even do something virtually, whatever direction you guys want to take it in, we need to kind of move on this since it is January.
Yeah, so just a quick update on the event that's coming up.
Yes.
Skokie United is working in collaboration with the library to do a community book discussion on the selected works of Audre Lorde. And that's going to be an event on February 8th. I'll drop the link. It's actually right on the top of their website, but actually I'll just drop the registration thing into the chat if anyone's interested. But
that's great. Thank you.
Sure.
And it's by registration. You need to get
that's
it.
Correct. Yeah, that's the link and to register, and it has a description. And then I think they have a link to how you can get it through the library. Yeah. I'm not sure if they have a digital copy or something.
And that is on Tuesday, February 8th, did you say?
Yes.
It looks like it'll be a Zoom event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Registration will close on the 1st of February. So. It says that 12 seats are remaining, but it might just be something that they do for their own registration. But I'm sure if you reach out to the library, maybe they'll let you in if it gets full. So.
Great. Thank you, Louis, for putting that out for us. Thank you.
And you're on that committee, so perfect. It works. How's the seed going for everybody? Or I know some people are part of that cohort. I know that not too much information can be shared with confidentiality, but everyone's doing okay.
Yep, it's going good.
I'm hearing much better this way than at the police station.
Oh, good.
Good,
Good, John. Good.
Is the YWCA event, is that the Ricky Byrd song? 5 Mile Race, or is it something else?
It is actually something else. It's the Stand Against Racism. In conjunction with that, I'm trying to remember if it's the same weekend. I don't think it is. It's the race is in the summer, isn't it, Amy?
Stand Against Racism is traditionally around the last week in
April. Yeah.
And the Ricky Byrd song, Race Against Hate, I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's usually around Father's Day.
Yeah, in June, right. Is it saying anything?
Yeah, so let's see here. I found it.
That is the one that you say.
Yeah, so they have this year's campaign. Their theme is We Can't Wait, Equity and Justice Now. So that is this year's campaign. And the national challenge is 21 days. But it is in April or so. But this is just their national. It's April 28th through May 1st in 2022. It will be this year's national campaign. But I was trying to reach out to the Evanston North Shore to see what their campaign, if they're, because they typically work off the national campaign. I'm just trying to see what actual day, because typically they do different breakout groups, like Zoom groups, Let's Talk at Lunch groups, things like that. And then when they plan on reading the pledge, so we can all read it together.
My guess would be, like Amy said, if it's the 28th of April is the fourth Thursday, and that's usually about the time that that it would be historically. And usually sometime about 10:30 in the morning on that day. But we'll confirm that. Okay. Just being mindful of time because it's almost 8:10. Is there any old or new business that anyone would like to bring to our attention?
I just wanted to say I didn't get a chance to get in contact with everyone. It seems like that worked out because this meeting's pretty long already. So, but I'm reaching out to, sorry, just let me make sure I get the names right. Jasmine Gruneau, and I'm reaching out to Kim Vigu. Jasmine Gruneau is the head of the director of the Native American Indigenous Affairs at Northwestern, and Kim Vigu is the executive director at the Mitchell Museum. And I was thinking our next meeting, if possible, I could invite them both and see if they're available. What was the date on the next meeting?
Sure, it's on February 28th.
Okay.
At 6:30. Going forward, right now, it would be a virtual meeting. So unless we hear otherwise, it would be something very similar to what we're doing tonight.
Yeah, which might actually work out with their schedules.
Sure. And we would have them similarly present at the beginning.
Okay.
So they don't have to stay through our business.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
That would be great. Do you want to just kind of circle back with us as soon as you know, just so we can kind of plan for either that meeting or the following month, whatever works for them?
Sounds good.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And at the bottom of the minutes, it always has the next future dates, so you can kind of give them options. It's like the February dates and then March as well, just in case they can't make it to February.
Got it. Thanks.
Does anyone else have anything to bring up? Any questions? I'm thrilled that we have a quorum tonight. We didn't even have to bring food. It's great. I mean, I wish I could have brought you all food, but it wasn't going to work today.
Hopefully everybody has snacks. in
Yeah.
front of them.
We don't, but you guys can. Wonderful.
Any housing related issues that were brought to anybody's attention? No, to mark them down. Okay.
So we will plan right now to meet virtually on February 28th. 6:30. We usually sign in about 6:15. Or if we're in person, we're there 6:15, but we just want to get everybody on and then start doing our live recording on YouTube. So we did have some people on.
Yeah, a little bit
viewing,
earlier.
about
Yeah.
four people viewing us earlier in the evening. It's pretty exciting stuff. So some stayed, some left. We're happy everybody could join us. If there is nothing else, I think we can take an adjournment if anybody would like to motion.
Motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Donna, second?
Jeremy?
Jeremy, thank you. Wonderful.
Thank
Well,
you so much.
thank you all. Stay warm
Bye.
and healthy. And we wish you all the best and happy, healthy new year.
Bye-bye.
Okay.